this is Katie Clark with some breaking news that could totally change the game for your pumping journey. A brand new study was just released, and guess what? It supports something that so many of us in the lactation world have been saying for years. Most pumping moms are using flanges that are way too big. Before we dive into the study and why it's groundbreaking, I have a free gift for you: my printable nipple caliper and circle ruler tools. These will help you to measure your nipple size and get a better idea of what flange size you need. Grab them now, the link is in the description below. Okay, let's get into this study, the results, and why this is a total game changer. The study's called Flange Size Matters, a comparative pilot study of flange fits guide versus traditional sizing methods, was published in the Journal of Human Lactation on November 30th, 2024. It's a landmark study because there really has not been much research done to support flange sizing for lactating women. Researchers Lisa Anders, Jeanette Frem, and Thomas P. McCoy evaluated the effect of using smaller flanges. We're talking 12 millimeters, 14 millimeters, 16 millimeters in comparison to the more traditional sizes that most are accustomed to, such as the 24 or 28, which is what usually comes with a pump. This method for flange sizing was created by Jeanette from the organization Babies in Common. I learned about this method several years ago, and it has truly changed my practice. However, adopting change in the lactation field is hard, so this research is truly a game changer. I'll link to the full study below, but the results of this study found that when using the standard fit flanges, such as a 24, milk output was significantly less and comfort was as well. The conclusion was that, and I'm quoting this from the study, flange fitting is a process that should be individualized to the patient and may require a trial of one or more sizes during a pumping session. Smaller sizes determined using this individualized process and starting with nipple tip measurement may be used without compromising milk output or comfort. This study confirms what I've seen in my own private practice. Flange sizing makes a huge difference, and the smaller sizes are often better for most people. With this method, we measure the tip of the nipple, so not the base, and then we try a variety of sizes that are close to that measurement. Measurements are only the first step of the process, and often I just look at a nipple and can figure out what size it's going to be. Trying to figure out what flanges your body reacts to is crucial. Of course, the sample size of this study was small, but the data is exciting and leads me to tell you that if you are pumping with a 24, 28, or even a 21, you probably have too large of a flange. So let's talk about why this is such a big deal. This is going to hopefully lead to more accurate sizing. Many pump kits default to flanges that are way too big, often starting at 24 millimeters or 28 millimeters. But most moms have nipples that are much smaller than that, and so this is not helping them. This study proves that one size fits all approach just doesn't work. Less pain equals happier pumping. If you've been dreading every pumping session because of pain, your flange size might be the issue. A smaller flange means less tissue is being pulled into the tunnel, reducing comfort and increasing milk output. And yes, your nipple can touch the sides of the flange. It used to be thought that this was a big no-no, but if it's comfortable, this is okay and might lead to increased oxytocin. You might also have better and faster milk output. Contrary to popular belief, using a smaller flange can actually help you pump more efficiently and get more milk out. When the fit is right, you get a better seal and more effective suction, which means better milk flow. It usually leads to much more effective pumping as well. For years, lactation consultants have been encouraging moms to size down based on nipple measurements and by trying out different flange sizes. And now there's solid research to back it up. There's been a lot of pushback on it, so this is why I'm so excited about the research. My hope is that this will help hospitals adapt their practices and other lactation consultants be open to it. Because many of these people believe that the idea that bigger is always better, and that's just not true. So here's a little bit about my private practice experience. As someone who's worked with tons of pumping moms, I see the impact of flange size every single day. I keep a running list of what moms say after getting the correctly sized flange, which is usually around 14 or 15. Most of them are completely shocked. Here's what I've noticed. Moms often come to me in so much pain or frustrated with their output. Try different flange sizes and finally get that perfect size. The difference is almost immediate. The nipple tip is crucial. I work with women who have larger nipple bases and much smaller nipple tips. If we measure just the base, we are going to get a much larger size than they need. They tell me things like, I finally enjoy pumping, or I'm getting more milk with less time. I didn't realize how much pumping sucked before I got this right flange size. Even moms who will tell me, oh, I think it's the right size, they sized it at the hospital, it's gonna be fine, are usually shocked with the difference and what they were putting up with. This study is such a win because it highlights what we've known all along and encourages pumping manufacturers to rethink their sizing and hopefully hospitals as well. I thought I'd share a couple common questions I've gotten about flange sizing, especially in regards to this study. The first one is, how do I even know my correct size? I've touched on this a little bit, but generally we start with measuring the nipple tip diameter before a pumping session. You can use my free caliper and circle ruler tools. They're super easy to use and you can print them off. A plain old ruler works just as well. This is only the first step though. After this, you're going to want to try a variety of hard plastic flanges that are close to your nipple measurement. Trying different sizes and types, for instance, I love the crater style, which a lot of people don't know about, to help you find the perfect size. The next question is, won't smaller sizes decrease my output? No, the opposite is true for many moms. A better fit leads to better milk flow. If you're seeing less milk output, that's not the right size. And then of course, wearable pumps. Someone talked about how they saw recently that they're seeing moms not using their inserts in the wearables, specifically the Mom Cozy, and getting a crazy amount more of milk. She wanted to know why this was or if it will cause damage in the future. And this is a tricky one. Wearable pumps are a whole other ballgame. For one, the body tends to respond better to plastic than silicone in my experience. And since you usually have to wear silicone inserts with these wearable pumps to get down to those smaller sizes, this may lead to a lower output. Sometimes the flange inserts don't always fit correctly, either in the pump you're working with or just with your body. I do think it's worth experimenting with the inserts to see if they work better, but if not, use what is most comfortable. If your wearable pump has an option for smaller plastic flanges, definitely use those because I think you'll see the best results. Here's the problem I see with wearable pumps. 9 times out of 10, when a mom starts using it, her output goes up. It happens a lot. I can't really explain it. However, almost as frequently later on, I see that same person's supply drops significantly, and then there's an increase in clogged ducts that often happens. I'm not a huge fan of the wearable pumps, but I would just experiment with it and see what happens. I would much rather someone use cups with a good pump, such as like a Baby Buddha, as I see better results, but I know that that's not always possible. This is a hard one though. Someone else asked, are the results immediate? Sometimes it can take your body to adjust to something new, but with most moms, there are immediate results, which is why we pick the flange sizes we do. I usually will see improved comfort, stronger sprays of milk, and more milk coming out in a faster amount of time. If there is a lot of damage, it may take a little bit more time. If your supply has been hurt from the wrong flange size, it may take time to build that supply back up. And then people want to know, what's wrong with using the wrong size? I'm sure a 24 is too big, but it feels okay and my output is fine. If you want to keep using it, that's fine. However, I generally find that with time, it may cause damage and an increased likelihood of clogged ducts and may cause a decrease in supply over time. I just challenge you to experiment with it and see what happens. More often than not, the moms I'm working with say that things are going fine and realize that when trying a new size, how fine things were not. And they were putting up with a lot more discomfort and lower milk output than they were realizing. Anyways, this is a landmark study and I am so excited and grateful to those people who have put it together and have put so much effort into it. The results I've seen in my own office have been amazing and frequently say, I wish I could just do flange fittings all day because you can see such an immediate improvement. I recently had a mom in my office who came into me with bleeding nipples, who had low output and was just about to throw in the towel. At first glance, she did look like a 24, but when we did that nipple tip measurement, she was actually a 17. The results were amazing. The pain almost immediately went away. Her milk supply has gone up. She saw sprays for the first time ever, and it was just a pretty incredible experience overall. So please, if you are pumping, do me a favor and get the right flange size. Even if you're like, oh, the 24 is great, let's see if we can make it even better. So here's your next steps. If you're ready to stop guessing and start pumping pain-free, download my caliper and circle ruler. You can find the link in the description below. If you want more guidance, be sure to check out my course, Fuss-Free Flange Fitting. It's a step-by-step workshop where I walk you through everything, from measuring your nipple size to finding the perfect fit. and troubleshooting any issues that you might be having. I also do one-on-one flange sizing virtually and in person if you're in the Denver, Colorado area. In person is ideal because I have all the flange sizes and it can be expensive to buy them all yourself, but I can also help you virtually to get a better size. It's time to toss those two big flanges and start focusing on what actually works. Have you tried smaller flanges? What issues have you run into? Did you notice a difference? Let me know in the comments below and I would love to hear what you're thinking. If you found this video helpful though, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with a fellow pumping mama. Thanks for watching and I will see you next time.